就算你没有耐心看完整个视频，也要看一下5分09秒开始的地方哦。
最近在 Facebook、Twitter 和 Instagram 上出了一个大事，一个9000亿美金的大事。When the looting starts, the shooting starts。推特在5月底决定对于 Donald Trump 这个 Twitter 进行了一个违反了该内容政策的标签。相反的 ，Facebook 决定不这么做。看 Facebook 这样的回应，很多人想采取行动，对其700亿美金的广告收入进行攻击。StopHateForProfit 这样的新的社会运动就诞生了。
如果你能活到100岁，每天赚大约200万，
嚯家伙！
按平均速度算，每天数钱要数6个小时，坚持100年。
我从早到晚不吃不喝不睡，我光挨那数钱了。
这么痛苦，你愿意吗？
那我也乐意。
这个运动引发世界最大品牌纷纷都停止在社交媒体上的所有广告业务。比如说，最爱打广告的 Coca-Cola Company 宣布，从7月1号至少30天不会发布任何的内容，也不会花1分广告的钱。同时，阿迪达斯、耐克、星巴克等等很多大牌子，总共市值超过9000亿美元的公司们，决定共同推动 StopHateForProfit 这样的一个世界性的大行动。So in this video, I'm going to elaborate on 3 things. The first, what is this movement really about? Second, why is there such deep-rooted hatred in the internet all around the world? And third, how are the efforts made by platforms to tackle hate speech been successful? Let's look at the first one. I went on their organization's website and it says this: we know what Facebook did. 99% of Facebook's $70 billion is made through advertising. Who will advertisers stand with? Let's send Facebook a powerful message. Your profits will never be worth promoting hate, bigotry, racism, anti-Semitism, and violence. Please join us. As you can see, there has been deep-seated contradiction rooted in social media, and it's called internet polarization. So this incident we talked about has only been a trigger for the boycott on Facebook. Over the years, the amount of hate speech on Facebook has been increasing, and Facebook claims that in 2020 first quarter, they've deleted 9.6 million hate speech posts. That's compared to 2019 third quarter, this number was 7 million. In 2019 and 2020 alone, compared to other platforms, the proportion of hate speech victims on Facebook has been the highest of everyone. Despite all the efforts to tackle hate speech has not been effective. So movements like this have come to say it's time to make real change, take real action. Number 2, 4 really important concepts for us to understand this phenomenon. The first one is called filter bubbles. Let's say you're a high school student.
Oh, hey, did you visit your teacher at school today? Of course I did. I even helped clean the floor. I did such a great job.
What you didn't tell your mom is that you cleaned the class floor because you were punished by your teacher. In this sense, your mom is the user and you are the AI algorithm. You only tell your mom what she wants to hear, which is good news. And that's how our social media works. In this sense, we all enter this information bubble where we view things based on user preference. The more time we serve, the more the algorithm knows about you, and the more limited the bubble becomes. The second concept is called information cocoons. When filter bubbles come together, they form information cocoons. There is this pre-conscious screening of information on the internet that makes groups subconsciously strengthen each other's connection. We tend to ignore things that we're not really interested in or ideas that we're not really familiar with. This kind of information cocoon has 2 very big consequences. The first one is that it forms online communities based on values to get information. We are extremely based on self-satisfaction and an excessive self-selection. Second consequence is that we become homogeneity within the group and heterogeneity among the group, which forms different information cocoons all around the internet. The third concept is called the echo chamber effect. In those information cocoons, we all live inside these echo rooms, which means that we only listen to the same opinions as ourselves, some of them in a more radical, expressive, and even distorted form. We end up strengthening our recognition of our own group values and rejecting or even opposing the values of other groups. The fourth concept then leads to group polarization. An acquisition of information from an individual usually is translated into value judgment of a group, which leads to more and more group polarization. Why is that? First of all, is because the echo chamber effect we just mentioned. You only believe in the correctness of your own opinion because other people keep approving it. Second reason why is under the theory of conflict. A lot of opinions are formed before any kind of discussion. We subconsciously reject other people's opinions. We use the form of extreme expression in order to kind of protect the dominance of our own group. And in some ways, all leads to a very radical way of expressing it in the form of hate, violence, and crime. This is why these 4 concepts I just mentioned lead to a growth of hate speech among the internet. It's just way too comfortable to be inside those bubbles. Part 3, let's talk about solutions. Have the platforms successfully broken these bubbles I just talked about? Well, no. Facebook in January 2017 did try to introduce and remove personalized content from the personal theme list. Google Chrome had this feature called Escape Your Bubble, which you enter your political tendency and then they promote information to your Facebook newsfeed that's different than the political views you usually have. However, these efforts have not really created much value and their impact was very minimal. Now, why is that? We think it's related to the thing called third-person effect. It's a situation where we as humans live in this illusion that we're better than others. We call it, I think that biased influence from the media does not affect me as much as others. For example, I get negative news, I think that my ability to judge if it's false or good or bad is much better than others. In this way, we overestimate our ability to make judgment on the internet, and hence, a lot of the platforms who try to make changes to tackle this, well, they meet again the arrogance of human nature, the third-person effect. And a lot of their policies to mitigate this have not been helping at all. So what can we do? Are we just gonna be slaves to the algorithm? Well, I have a method for you. Let's see if you think it's useful. Because algorithms are based on personal recommendation, what I do is that I would register these false accounts based on false preferences of myself that I carefully design. For example, I would have an account on Bilibili that's called 小搞搞想赚钱, and I would only follow financial related content. I would Toby all these big objects related to finance, and I would click not interested in all the other contents. Hence, 3 days later, the platform is fully recommended or related to financial stuff. At the same time, I would then go and try to make my cognition more comprehensive and not only follow my own self-interest. I would go and write all the things I want the machine to show me and then continue my domestication process. This way, I had made so many false bubbles, and my phone became kind of a tool for me to more fully understand the needs of this world. We hope it doesn't affect any of you too much. We hope that you find a way to see the world more positively, to accept others' opinions and listen and hear, and not be stuck in these bubbles. 那如果你们喜欢，欢迎大家给我们素质3连。有什么话题想我们聊，你们可以在评论告诉我们。我真的录了好久，我有点困了，然后我要去刷我的金融账号，小狗狗想赚钱。